Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or whatever time zone it is wherever you in the world. It is your Lore Saviour. And last week I have a bit of a ramble walking around at this very park talking about why you should play solo TTRPGs, or rather converting your traditional group games into absolutely based poggers solo experiences. And yeah, YouTube didn't like that very much, and I'm going to presume you lot didn't do it much either. But you know what? I don't really care that much. I was very passionate about the solo video, and I'm going to continue to doing solo TTRPG shit because I just really fucking enjoy it, and I think a lot of you would enjoy it a lot more if you just opened your minds a bit more. And to that end, I'm going to introduce you into something else that's probably going to do absolutely shit with the algorithm, but fuck it, I'm trying not to care about that too much. New year, new lore and all of that, I've talked about that shit before. Now, this is however going to be in the form of a little rant, because that's what we do here. We rant my honest and thoughts opinions about things, because to do anything else would be absolutely dishonest and a pile of wank. Anywho, on with the subject matter in question. System agnostic books and settings. It's a load of fucking bollocks, quite frankly. And yeah, I think we need to address this, or at least highlight this particular issue, because if you don't know what these are, system agnostic, as the name would imply, is that these source books and tools that you could pluck and use for any TTRPG, and a lot of them are advertised as such. Oh, you can use this as any other TTRPG, but then when you actually look at them, what you'll find is what it really means. It can be used with D&D and any other fantasy-styled TTRPG, which I think is just a wee bit silly, and quite frankly just a little bit fucking sad, because we live in this very amazing creative medium that is tabletop role-playing games, and everyone's doing amateur hour at the theatre school, you know, rolling dice and being weird and wacky characters, some of them more grim and darker than others. But there are so many people out there that assume that D&D is the only TTRPG out there, and it's really frustrating that, as cool as it is that you've got things like Critical Role and Stranger Things and all the rest of it that showcase D&D and thus the rest of the TTRPG sphere to the limelight, it would be nice if people could just express their joy and curiosity for other TTRPGs, rather than trying to hand-fist everything into the D&D sphere, which is also including source books that basically come down to a bunch of random tables that you roll with different dice to come up with different results. So it's not just so geared towards the fantasy realm, because, as I've mentioned at least once in my time doing YouTube, there are more TTRPGs out there than Dragons and Dungeons, which is something I'm probably going to keep reiterating, however that word's pronounced, to the day that I die. But lore, the big-brained munch you ask. You can get some of these sorts of Oracle-based books that tailor more to your specific scenario. Like, there's a bunch of cyberpunk ones up there. You've been banging on about zombies a bit recently on your social media pages. There's some for post-apocalyptic settings. Why don't you just get one of those? Well, first things first, we're not talking about the more specific things here, although it's a valid point all the same. But second of all, there's also the issue here that a fair amount of these are dabbling far more into the world of generative AI, which is a load of poo-poo-ew stinky territory. In fact, there was one company that I was, or brand, or whatever you want to call them, called Dice and Geeks, that I was able to confidently say that I trusted. However, when I tried telling my partner about them, the group didn't appear on their page on Drive4RPG, because they had a setting that was turned off where anybody who was using generative AI wouldn't appear, so yay. Now, if that sort of brain rot and cancer the sort of thing that you're into, by all means go ahead and do that and just continue to corrupt and pollute the planet, why don't you? Or fucking plague the world with ChatGPT nonsense that's factually incorrect and is inbreeding with its test results. So if incest is wincest for you, then go ahead and do that, I guess. So what solutions do I have to make something that's truly system agnostic? Well, here's the real issue with that. I don't actually have any answers for you. Well, I got one, but it requires a bit more imagination, which is something that is dying with the TTRPG scene. See the fucking brain rot bit I just waffled about a moment ago. I would suggest using books that are advertising them as for solo experiences. The best example I can think of is Tanner Pigeon's Games Master Emulator, specifically the latest edition, second edition, which is a compilation of an excess of 20 years worth of material. Now, does it give you items and weapons to play around with? No, but it gives you things like descriptors, locations, moods, and all these other things where you can use your imagination within the context of a scene to try and work out what it means and the items that you're using. If you're playing a TTRPG, write down every single weapon, or rather just count them up and then work out what sort of dice that you use. It's what I've ended up having to do with my solo vampire and wraith tools, where I've gone through the books, counted up the clans of vampire, the Arcanoi for wraith, and then worked out the sort of dice that you need to use. Now, this does mean you'll probably have to use dice outside the ones for that specific game. For example, Vampire the Masquerade uses all the dice types, as well as the standard D10s for the Storyteller system, which I tried to cut down a bit on when I did the Wraith one, because I found it was actually getting a bit too complicated. But I just wanted an excuse for people to roll more dice, because we love rolling dice. So, so it's an evolution and a work in progress sort of thing. And the reason that why something like Mythic can work so well, because it allows you to stretch your imagination and really dig into the fact that you have a very powerful imagination, and you can come up with something really cool and awesome by rolling on a bunch of tables and getting 2 3-word prompts together and then working out what it all means, which is probably the most system agnostic you're ever going to get, really. And sure, with the Aurtakis Storyteller homebrew that I did for Vampire the Masquerade, it was intended for 5th edition because that's what most people were using. But you can certainly use the tools in that and use it with any edition of Vampire, or with any other fucking TTRPG. Similar with Wraith. There are things in there that are geared towards Wraith the Oblivion play, such as the Oblivion die that incorporates the shadow into solo play. But again, there's background and story generated stuff that you can pluck and use in other systems. Try swapping them around, make fucking Vampire with the Hopeful Damned and vice versa. We Ragers 1 has systems in there to make a party of NPCs. You can now use that in your other solo games, the World of Darkness games, which I think is a pretty cool thing if I do so for myself. And as we're touching upon solo rules here, I'm just going to address something that I said in my How to Solo TTRPG video, which is going to appear on a card somewhere now, is that don't have too many books around you, because I know that's a real exciting thing, like you've got all these books and now you get to finally use them. Don't do that, because you're going to find you're going to be taking too much time choosing for choices and things that have the best sort of result. Have like 1 or 2 books, maybe 3 at push. 3's a good number. All good things come in 3s, such as your mother. So don't feel the need to include everything just because you've got all these things. Like, just have 1 or 2 books, maybe 3, and have fun with your imagination and find something that's super generic, or if you know you've got something super niche in a book somewhere, pull that out, but don't be silly with it. Like, have fun a sensible way, so you're spending more time rolling the dice in the game to do stuff rather than scene painting, something I've had to learn through my years of solo TTRPGing. So to recap, system agnostic themes are a bit shitty-pooey for many different reasons, and it's really down to you to find the right sources for you and basically do the work yourself. As Tom Shawkin, Ironsworn dude, has often said, prep is play, and if you're doing solo play, you're the games master, so you're going to have to be doing all this prep work beforehand, which is a little frustrating sometimes, but it will make things a lot easier and fun for you in the long run. Now, of course, I'm only one individual and I've only got one big brain. I wish I had more. Sometimes I wish I had less. So I might have missed something here. There may be like a really awesome resource out there that I could have missed. If you know what that is, let me know in the comments below, or at least tell me things I could probably check out that will help my solo TTRPG, both for private stuff, but also things to showcase on the channel, either as a form of a book review, or as a tool that I'll use in solo actual play stuff, because I want to do a lot more of that, because I find them a lot of fun to do. What sort of source books help you with your games mastering, or just general play, beyond the core books, of course? Let me know about those in the description below as well, or the comments I should say, but you'll find in the description below. the aforementioned World of Darkness solo tools that I've made, in addition to a load of World of Darkness books, official stuff as well. Now, if you purchase those with those specific links, I get some of the money back because I'm an affiliate from TTRPG, and that's the best way to financially support the channel. And if you've already got those books by chance, but want to continue to support me financially, you can copy and paste a special affiliate code in the description, put it in the URL of any book before you add it to the cart, and that will help as well. So I say thank you in advance, but if you can't do that, that's absolutely fine, because times are hard and all of that stuff, and you know, I know they're all struggling in one way or another, but if you can, that would be great. If you can't, that's also great. You put yourselves first if you are absolutely skint. Now, but what you can do regardless is give the videos a thumbs up and let everybody know that you like it, subscribe to the Lore by Night channel, and share this video with any and everyone who loves what I do, and I'll see you on the next upload, wherever that may well be for you. And until next time, farewell.